Hello people of Utop. Utop is greatest Utop in the world. Welcome to the channel. Okay, whatever. Let's do the tier list for all the religions in EU4. Starting with the worst ones, working our way to the best ones. No, I'm not going to do that because then you're going to just skip to the end. Okay, I know how you think. I'm just going to randomly go through all of them and assign them on different tiers. This way, you got to watch the whole freaking video. Alright, so let's start it off with the religions in Africa. Obviously, fetishist is not such a bad religion. Fetishist, in case you didn't know, has by default the Diplo reputation +1, tolerance of the heathens +2. Tolerance of the heathens +2 is actually quite good. I'm not gonna lie to you. The fact is that having at least 0 tolerance of heathens makes a massive difference, especially in this continent, right? Because you're gonna have a lot of big differences between the religions here, be it if you're fetishist with the Sunni provinces or vice versa. Now, there's something about the fetishists not many people know. There's 12 totems or 12 gods you can choose from, whatever they're called here. Cults, there you go, they're called cults. It's basically the same thing, just reskinned for Africa. You get 3 here, you get another 3 from interacting with the fetishists in West Africa. You get 1 cult for each other religion in the game, and via missions you can get 1 other cult for religions that you cannot normally interact with, such as Norse. So you can get a special cult from your mission that basically signifies that you got that cult from the Norse religion, and you can get that in Iron Man mode, like vanilla Iron Man mode. Fetishist, I'm gonna put it on C tier. Next up on the list is gonna be, of course, Coptic. Why did I say of course Coptic? Because it was right next to fetishist, so that's why. Okay, now Coptic is a Christian religion, and because of that you can have Defender of the Faith mechanics once you have 500 gold, of course, which makes a big difference because Defender of the Faith, whenever you get this to tier 5, it offers a huge amount of bonuses, right? Not only that, but you also have the aspects, and you can eventually get all of these juicy things here, including the core creation cost reduction and the discipline +2.5. Now, Coptic is a little bit difficult to handle sometimes because the provinces that you need to have in order to get all of those aspects are pretty far apart. Like you need to have one here in Yerevan, another one in Antioch, Alexandria, and then a few more here in Khazar, Ibrim, and Aksum. It is a decent religion simply because it's a Catholic, it's a Christian religion, right? So you have the Defender of the Faith and you have the aspects, but it's not an amazing religion. So overall, I would probably put this on B list. It's a little bit above fetishist because of the Defender of the Faith mechanics. Trust me, that really makes a big difference. And also the core creation cost reduction is pretty massive. Next up, let's do Sunni. Sunni, I think, is one of the most powerful religions in the game. Well, the Muslim religions, all 3 of them are pretty equal, just a few tiny differences between them. Now, Sunni has a lot of bonuses. Like, if you go, you can choose legalism or mysticism. If you go full mysticism, you get stronger armies, easier time converting stuff. Or if you go legalism, more manpower and more tax and tech cost reduction -10%. So obviously legalism is amazing, but then again, you can go for either of these, and then you have a special interaction once you reach 75 towards either of these that gives you either flat manpower or it gives you -2 corruption. The -2 corruption, remember, you can always just debase your currency and then go for this interaction, and you essentially have a free loan every time you reach 75 legalism. There's a cooldown though, so keep that in mind. There's also a ton of special provinces that offer extra missionaries, both for the Coptic that we talked about already and for Sunni and all the other Christian and Muslim religions, which is why Sunni is, in my opinion, A tier religion. That's right, boys, it's an A tier religion. There's also a ton of Sunni provinces, and you basically take full advantage of the Sunni religion from the very beginning. Not to mention, if you have the Cradle of Civilization DLC, you also get the various schools that can give you dev cost reduction, aggressive expansion impact reduction, merchants, legitimacy, shock damage increase or decrease. You can also do the special propagate religion from your centers of trades, which means you can convert other provinces to Sunni. This, of course, works with both Shia and with Ibadi. And speaking of, the only differences between Shia, Ibadi, and Sunni are just the base difference that they offer. So Sunni offers chance of New Year +100 and cav to infantry ratio +10%. Then you get the Shia that have in return the morale of armies +5 and chance of New Year +100%, which is great. Not gonna lie, it's pretty good. I'd still think Shia, Sunni are pretty much on the same tier though. I would not put Shia in S tier simply because because of that 5% morale of armies. So I'm going to put it in the A tier, and I'm also going to put Ibadi on the same A tier. My reasoning for this is because they're super similar. Only difference for Ibadi is the fact that they have the goods produced plus 10%. So economically, Ibadi is obviously a little bit better compared to Shia and Sunni. Next up, boys, let's talk a little bit about Catholicism. In the Emperor update, Catholicism saw a massive revamp, and I know some people are going to disagree with me on this, but I do think that Catholicism is one of the strongest religions right now in the game. First off, there's so many interactions now that you have as Catholic nations. If you have the papal influence, you get morale of armies plus 10%, so that covers your armies, construction cost and tax modifier bonuses, inflation reduction, interest per annum from loans, corruption reduction, manpower, as well as land maintenance reduction, diplo annexation cost minus 10, and diplo reputation. Mercantilism, nobody goes for mercantilism, by the way. Stability plus 1 as well. But yeah, these 5 and the stability 1, these are absolutely brilliant. Plus, if you become the papacy, you get all of these bonuses also, including aggressive expansion impact reduction, tech cost, etc, etc, etc. It is also a religion that you can get easily tier 5 defender of the faith. So that means if you got defender of the faith, you get all of these bonuses here. Manpower plus 20%, morale of armies, navies, missionaries, etc. And then not to mention you also have the holy city, so you get a lot of missionaries from those whenever you do convert and you own these cities. If you're one of the Spanish nations, you get even more bonuses for staying Catholic. I've seen people going Protestant as countries in Iberia. Don't do that, okay? Just don't do it. You need to stay Catholic because you got the holy orders as the Iberian culture nations. So that means if your culture is one of the Iberian cultures, then you get these bad boys here, and these make a massive difference. Not to mention early on, these are super great bonuses that you have. Make a lot of extra debt. You can get a lot of extra debt for very little mana points in return, aside from the flat bonuses. You can also get the Crusades Code, and if you are the papacy or the papal controller, better yet, you can also get the bull. So you can get the absolutism, regiment drill loss reduction, unrest reduction as well, minus 2, aggressive expansion impact minus 10%, institution spread, imperial authority, or dev cost reduction. All of these are really, really great, and there's more. Hold on a second. After the 1500 strike and you get the Council of Trent, you again can get more military bonuses. Honestly, Catholicism, guys, is probably the new S-tier religion. It is the S-tier religion in 1.33, boys. It is. It is. It is. You cannot say it isn't. I used to be a massive Protestant League boyo, but I have to admit that Catholicism got too buffed, and now it's just absolutely great compared to the other ones. I think we also need to talk about the elephant in the room. The previous strongest religion in the game, Orthodoxy. Is it still strong? It is. It is still extremely strong. Why is Orthodoxy so strong? For a few reasons. First off, the patriarchal authority system here gives you 33% manpower, and you also get missionary strength, but you also get these bad boys here that include dev cost reduction and construction cost reduction. So if you're playing Toll, this is the religion for you, one of the religions for you, because you get both of these bonuses with one aspect. So you just need 10% papal patriarchal authority to get this, or if you want, you can go for aggressive expansion impact, unrest, discipline for your armies whenever you go to war. It's very, very versatile, let's say, as a religion. Aside from that, there's a lot of other bonuses. Obviously, you can also go for the consecrate metropolitan that offers monthly devastation reduction, increases the maintenance cost a little bit, and you get 5 patriarchal authority. It's not bad, it's not amazing, but definitely a good addition to have, I have to say. It's also, of course, an easy to get tier 5 defender of the faith religion, so you get the same bonuses as the Catholics for that, and you also get the same bonuses from having the holy cities, such as, you know, Jerusalem and all that schnapps. Overall, it is a great religion. Is it an A tier? Is it an S tier? That's the big question now, chat. What does chat think? Do we put Orthodoxy A or S tier, chat? What do you think? Well, I personally do believe that it is still an S tier. There's right now 5 S tier religions in the game, and Orthodoxy, Catholicism, 100% are both S tier in my personal opinion. This is from my experience and my own opinion. Doesn't mean that it's 100% correct. Doesn't mean that it's wrong. It's just from my experience, this is what I personally believe. Next up is Hussites. Hussites are a new addition from the Emperor DLC as well, which was like a year plus ago, 2 years ago. I don't even remember. God, I've been playing this game for too long. It offers by default shock damage received -5% and missionary strength versus heretics, not heathens, just heretics. Keep that in mind. That's important. Now, obviously, you get the defender of the faith, and you have your special aspects, just like the Protestants, essentially. This religion has a great potential for world conquests, and it also has a great potential for one faith world conquests. Why, you ask? Great question. It's because of the war score cost versus other religions modifier. Most likely you're going to be the only Hussite nation in the world. So this is basically war score versus everybody in the world, -10%. And then culture conversion cost -20% from the early game is massive. If you're doing a one faith, one culture, one tag, you're going to really love this religion. And aside from that, you also get some great aspects for your military, like 20% national manpower, yearly army tradition decay -1%. If you're Prussia, you also get -1% from your Prussian ideas and 0.5 flat increase from Prussian ideas. So it is really, really great overall as Prussia to go Hussite. I still think Protestant is a little bit better for Prussia though, because Protestant has the ability to switch in between different aspects a lot faster, and it also has better aspects for both playing toll, because you got the dev cost reduction, and the military aspects because you got the discipline aspect, you have the morale of armies aspect. The national manpower that you get with Hussites is great, but for a nation like Prussia, that's not an issue, manpower, if you're playing toll. The big issue is going to be the other parts, like, you know, extra discipline, morale of armies and all that. I like Hussite overall. I think it's really nice. The fact that as the Bohemians, you get the mission tree that also spawns in a center of reformation is great, but I do think that this is an A-tier religion rather than an S-tier religion. Not bad, not great either. So next up is Hinduism. Hinduism is a very standard basic religion, tolerance of the true faith, tolerance of heathens, and you got all of these aspects similar to Protestants, Hussites, and so on. Some of these are great, like the discipline plus 5% and siege ability at the same time is amazing. Core creation cost -10%, and for world conquests, Hinduism is one of my personal favorite because you get core creation cost -10% and you get another -10% core creation cost reduction in Varanasi if you are a Hindu or Dharmic nation. That means Hinduism and Sikhism take advantage of this particular monument here, and Hindus also get a lot of other monuments all over the world. Like you have the really great one here in Majapahit. You can get this as a Hindu nation. Both of these you can actually get as a Hindu nation, including the one with the dev cost reduction. And all of these awesome monuments around India as well, you need to be Hindu for. I think there's some exceptions to that. I believe the one in Doaba, you have to be no, it's also Hindu, never mind. Taj Mahal is the one that you got to be Muslim, and aside from that one, pretty much all the other ones you got to be Hindu for. A lot of awesome monuments, and because of that, I think that Hinduism also deserves to be an A-tier religion. Since somebody already in the chat mentioned Zoroastrianism, let's talk a little bit about Zoroastrianism. Gujarat is one of the two countries that starts with the Zoroastrian provinces. You can become a Zoroastrian nation very easy. I have a video on becoming a Zoroastrian Gujarat. If you are a Zoroastrian nation, you have similar aspects like the ones that the Coptics have that include construction cost, governing capacity, missionary strength, goods produced. They're average, not amazing. But the thing that a lot of people like about Zoroastrian is the fact that there's this special monument in Shirvan where you get discipline plus 10, land fire damage plus 5, fire damage received -10, and culture conversion cost -10. You really need to be Zoroastrian to get this monument or syncretize with Zoroastrianism. So that means you can be either Tengri or Confucian and still take advantage of this monument. And because you're a Zoroastrian nation, you can also get the Rekindle the Royal Flames that offers manpower plus 20% in all of your Zoroastrian provinces. So that's again really nice. But you do not have Defender of the Faith, for example, and overall the monuments that you get from the various cities are average at best. And it's very restricted just because of this one monument, albeit it does give really great bonuses. So I know some people not going to like what I'm going to do, but I personally do think that Zoroastrian is a B tier. It's not an A tier. I would even say C tier, but I'm going to keep it B tier because I gave Coptic B tier. So at least B tier would be fair, would be okay since I gave Coptic's the same. Since we are in this area, let's also talk about the various Buddhist religions. They're average. They're not amazing. The great part about the Buddhists, after the Leviathan DLC a couple of years ago, they gave a lot of monuments only for Buddhists, like all of these here, except this one. This is Muslim. Also, the Bamiyan statues, you need to be Buddhist for. This one is really great, by the way. Idea cost -5% and culture conversion cost -25. So if you're Buddhist, you're gonna have a really easy time culturally converting the world. I believe a few more here also are accepted if you're a Buddhist nation. I might be wrong about that. It's accepted if you're Mahayana Buddhist. Yeah, the point is that the monuments are great. The religions themselves are average. You get advisor cost reduction and you get the karma system, which can give you either 5 discipline or 2.5 discipline or diplomatic relations. It's not amazing. It's okay, let's say. But out of all the 3 Buddhist religions, the one that shines the most, in my personal opinion, is the Mahayana one. Why the Mahayana one? Because of the idea cost reduction. Because remember, you get -5 idea cost reduction from the start, tolerance of heretics, which is really good as well. But aside from that, you also get the 5% idea cost reduction from Bamiyan. There's a couple of other global idea cost reduction monuments, and if you really want to push it, you can get, I think, about 50% idea cost reduction as Mahayana, which is the strongest out of all the idea cost reductions in all of the game. So if you really want to min-max for that particular aspect, it's not a bad religion overall. But like I said, all of the Buddhist religions, I'm going to give them C tier. They're okay. They're just not amazing. All right, let's just consider that this icon here is for all 3 of the Buddhists, okay? Because I don't know which ones are the other ones. And speaking of, I'm going to give B tier to Protestant and C tier to Reformed. Protestant is B tier because it has a really great variety of aspects, but they're not as strong now because of the buffs to the other religions. And Reformed is as overall trash. I would even give it a D, but I'll keep it a C because I gave Fetishist a C. Reformed is less than average. I would likely never go Reformed unless I want to get the 10% extra trade efficiency as a trade nation. Still not worth it. Still not worth it because you get the goods produced modifier from Protestant, which beats the schnitzel out of the 10% trade efficiency, and you also get production efficiency plus 10 as Protestant. Now that I'm thinking, I might actually make Protestant A tier, to be honest with you guys, because it does give a lot of very, very varied bonuses. Yeah, I'll keep it as an A tier. Next on our list is Judaism. Judaism got a massive revamp. Judaism was completely revamped recently, and it offers a lot more bonuses now. You start with the first 3, advisor extra possible, tolerance of the true faith is really good, by the way, and local missionary -2%. But the thing that makes it shine is the fact that it has 9 aspects that are very different. Interest per annum and tech cost are amazing. Then you also get the dev cost -10% that is really good, and tolerance of the true faith. If you get this tolerance of the true faith, you essentially never need to worry about unrest in your true faith provinces. And you also get the morale of armies, and that's it. The other 2 are pretty much trash. Take note, whenever you select any of these aspects, you get a small bonus. So for example here, winning a battle reduces war exhaustion by 0.05, and every war won gives you 10 faith power. This one, on the other hand, every non-theocratic Christian and Muslim country gets 35 relations with us, and this one offers 0.3 years of income and reduces inflation by 1 whenever you select it, whilst the tech one offers 20 reform progress, 5 legitimacy, and 5 claim of heir. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't know about the reform progress. Now that I see that it gives reform progress, this can be exploited, especially as Ethiopia, which really needs reform progress for its missions. So all of this being said, Judaism is pretty good, decent. It got a lot of buffs recently, but it is still, in my opinion, B tier religion. Even with the 10% dev cost reduction, it's still B tier because it's really hard to survive as Judaism, and aside from that, it is a little bit restrictive at certain manners, highly situational, but I still like it. Maybe in the future it might be an A tier if it gets a bit more buff, which I highly doubt because there's only one more update coming. So now guys, I have to be super straightforward about this. Animist, Inti, Nahuatl, and Mayan, all 4 crap. Before you say anything really stupid, remember that all of the ones that you need to reform, that means Inti, Nahuatl, and Mayan, the ones that you need to reform, massive debuffs, and the bonuses you get after you've reformed are average at best. Remember, you can always just convert to Totemist as any of those religions super fast. And by converting to totemist, you just don't need to do the reforms and you're not a primitive nation. So you get 100 ducats from gold in 1450, i.e. check my Aztecs video where I literally went totemist Aztecs in 1450 and I was getting insane amounts of gold. Like, it was ridiculous the amount of gold I was getting. So yeah, like I said, all of the North American religions, D tier, Nahuatl, Mayan, Inti, Pupu, and Animist is E tier, maybe even F tier because it's complete trash. The only reason Animist exists is because you need to become Animist in order to become Totemist, which brings us to the next religion, Totemism, my boys. Totemism is insanely powerful. It was the strongest religion in the game before it got massively nerfed. Like, they literally cut by half all of the bonuses. So you used to be able to get 20% discipline from your trait and your ancestor together, 20% discipline, 40% manpower, 20% morale of armies. So many bonuses you used to get. Now they nerfed them. It's like literally half, but it's still super strong. With the ancestor aspect, you can get a lot of stuff. So let's see, for example, here, this guy has got -5 idea cost. Once he dies, now we get a new guy. We can get this as an aspect and we get -5 idea cost. Boom. There's 10 of these. You can stack up here 5% discipline now, 10% morale of armies, 5% reduction idea cost, dev cost -10. There's so many aspects, up to 10 you can have. And obviously you can cheese this by becoming a republic or just starting as one of the nations in North America, and then you have all the time in the world to get all of those aspects. But even though they got nerfed, the religion itself got a little bit nerfed, they added something to it, namely the monuments. Once you get your monuments as totemist, so that means after you've reformed, you're not a native anymore, you've done the reforms, which is super fast, by the way, nowadays. You get the Cahokia monument, which offers 20% manpower if you are a totemist nation, and you also get monthly devastation. That's pretty much useless, but anyway, it's there. And then we have the other totemist monument in Takikiwiki. So the one in Takikiwiki gives you a -10 idea cost and tech cost -10%. Put that in perspective, guys. 10% idea cost, 10% tech cost, 20% manpower as totemist, aside from the 10 aspects that you have. That's just ridiculous. And the reality is you can do all of this before the Europeans even arrive. Or, well, they're gonna probably arrive in the Caribbeans, but before they reach the coastline here, you're gonna already have most of these lands, and you can have both of those monuments at least at level 1, and then you can just upgrade them as you go. So that makes totemism super strong. Even though it got nerfed, it's still insanely powerful, and that's why I'm gonna give totemism an S tier. I'm making it an S tier religion right here. All right, next up, let's talk about Shinto. Shinto is a religion available only on the Japanese islands. It is decently strong. It is a military religion, let's call it. So by default, you get morale of armies +10. So the only other religion that gives you morale of armies +10 is which one, chat? Come on, chat. You can tell me. The only other religion in the game that gives 10% is Catholic. Aside from this, the other ones are 5%. Totemism also gives 10%, by the way. It used to give 20% totemism, but now it gives 10%. So totemism, Catholicism, and Shinto, the only religions that give 10% morale of armies. So Shinto starts with the 10% morale of armies and tolerance of the true faith, as well as missionary strength -2. And then Shinto has a unique thing here with their levels of isolationism, and you can have either tech cost and an institution embracement cost reduction, dev cost -10, idea and construction cost -10, culture conversion, stability -15, and war exhaustion. Overall, you really want to keep it either on the dev cost reduction or the idea and construction cost reduction, not the tech cost reduction. And the reason for that is because it's too small compared to the 10% in the idea and construction or the 10% from dev cost reduction, right? There's also some events that trigger for Shinto that give it some other bonuses, but overall, I would say that Shinto is a very old religion. It has strong bonuses, but it didn't really keep up with the additions to the religions that have been revamped in the recent updates, right? So like Catholicism and all of these. It used to be, in my opinion, an S tier religion, honestly. Like, it was really great a few patches ago, but now, in my personal opinion, Shinto is an A tier religion. Since we are next to Ming, let's talk about Confucian. Guys, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. Confucian is crap. I know some people think that Confucian is amazing. Oh my god, it's such a great religion. So you do get dev cost -10% whenever you reach high harmony, and you can syncretize with basically every religion in the game. And the more religions you syncretize with, or sorry, harmonize with, the more religions that you actually actually get bonuses from. So eventually you can get massive amount of bonuses. Like, look at this: production efficiency plus 10, advisor cost minus 10, national unrest and religious unity increase. But here's the problem, guys. Here's the problem. It takes a lot of years to syncretize. If I was to syncretize with the pagan group, it would take me until 78. That's 30 years. So realistically, it's going to take you 150 years just to do the starting, let's say, 5 religions right next to you, right? In 150 years, either you're going to get bored or you're going to finish your world conquest. And then you're going to struggle because there's so many other religions you would like to syncretize with, right? It gives strong bonuses, but because of the fact that it takes so long to harmonize these religions, I am gonna put Confucian as a B tier list. It's not C, it's not bad, but you need to have a lot of patience with this one. I think a lot of EU4 players don't have the patience for it. I'm also gonna add Sikhism as a B tier list. Sikhism basically is an updated version of Hinduism with the guru system, but because the gurus just get replaced instead of stacking the modifiers, it's not really great because of that particular. If you could stack them up, it would be a great system, but if it's considering it's not stackable, it sucks. So Tengri is very specific for hordes, obviously, and Tengri has the ability to syncretize with another religion. You can do that with any religion, and it gives you different bonuses. So for example, if you have provinces that are Nahuatl, then you're going to be able to syncretize with Nahuatl, and you get morale of armies and a raising power gain. So hear me out, right? You get raising power gain plus 20% from this, right? And then let's say you go for the raising power meta. So you take horde ideas and economic ideas, right? Then the policy from these two gives you another 33% raising power, and then with the reform, that gives another 33 raising power. And then let's say you take Beijing, then raising Beijing is going to give you 200, almost 200, 186 mana points, admin 186, Diplo 93, military, and 31 loot. But realistically speaking, the moment that you're going to be able to get the last reform and both the policy with Eco Horde is probably going to be around military tech, and I'm conservative here, let's say military tech 8, right? 9, let's say. So then a province that was what, 30 development, let's check another province that's 30 development. So instead of the 200 and something, you get 176. It's still viable. Wow. So realistically, this is actually really interesting. This is fun. I might actually do a run with this with one of the next hordes that I have. And especially by the moment that you start getting into Europe, say in the 1550s, right? They have cities that have 40 development. Then what, you get like 500 development from just raising one province. Obviously, this is not necessarily meta because, like I said, as a horde, you want to conquer the world really fast. That's kind of the meta, right? So if you don't want to conquer the world really fast, you take your time and you just want to min-max and just have fun, this is a great run right here. Getting that many mana points from just one province, worth it, man. All right, so yeah, because of what I just showed you guys with the mana points and the fact that you can syncretize all of the religions in the world for different bonuses, I think that Tengri is definitely a great religion, and I'm gonna put them on B tier list. Anglicanism C tier, and Norse I'm gonna put it C tier as well, mostly because it's not available in vanilla, just custom nations, and it's average. If you guys enjoyed this tier list, I might do more in the future, so consider subscribing, and I'll see you in the next one.